folks, what's up? Welcome back to Fixing to Fish. And today I went out, I did some fishing, and I was doing a fishing unbox for Outsider Tackle for the month of May 2018. And I proceeded to start fishing with one of the baits, which was a jerk bait, and I ran into a bit of a problem. And on top of that, I had some technical difficulties with my camera, and I ended up not really getting a lot of footage, so I'm going to have to redo that video. And I was about to chuck the footage, but I realized that there's actually some really important information about foul hooking and a way that you could potentially save a bass's life. Foul hook with trebles versus a regular hook. I know a lot of people out there have foul hooked with a single hook. You go in through the gills, you twist it, it comes out. If you're very gentle, there's a good chance that that fish will survive. But treble hooks are a different thing, and I haven't really seen a video about how to remove foul hooked treble hooks. And this was the worst foul hooked treble hook I've ever seen in a fish's gills today. And that's after years of fishing. I still don't entirely know how this happened. From my perspective, I was fishing and the fish took the back hook, and then something happened and he got all switched around. I don't really know what happened. It happened so fast. But as you know, I'm a catch and release fisherman. I don't like to kill fish. If the fish is fatally injured and it's not going to make it, I will take it home and eat it, just because I don't want to waste the fish. I don't necessarily like the taste of bass, but I'm not going to waste it. If the fish died, you might as well do something with it or give it to somebody. Me personally, I will cook it up and I'll eat it. So it really bothers me when I foul hook fish, and fortunately I don't run into this very often, but every once in a while something freak will happen like this, and this is what happened. And I will show a picture of the actual foul hooking and the way I dealt with this, because it was so bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you on this swim bait what happened, just to give you sort of a preview before you look at the picture. The fish got hooked in the mouth with the front hook. He got hooked in the side with the bottom hook, but the worst thing of all was this middle hook had actually hooked him in the gills so deep that I could only see the shaft of the hook. In other words, all three trebles were under this gill plate right here. And then if you lift that up, you'll see red frills. And I knew this was bad, and I could not get it out. So what I did, first I was kind of hoping, you know, once I got the mouth out like that, and once I got the one in his side out, that the middle one would just kind of pop out and rotate out. But it wasn't happening. That whole entire three treble hooks were still in that gill plate, and he was not, it wasn't coming out. So as a last resort, and this is something I only do as a last resort, if I think the fish is going to die. Now it took me a while to get just the front two out, because they were really entangled in him as well. Especially the front one was actually, I can't even explain it. It was like the hook went in and then it came out. I mean, it took me a long time to get that front hook out, the red one. But he had been out of the water so long, I knew that he was going to die if I didn't do something. I've done this once before, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the size of the fish, I think. It helps if they're a little bigger, not tiny. But like I said, this is the last resort. If your fish is going to die and you want to save its life, or at least give it a shot, this is what I did. So the fish was still hooked in the gills. I put the fish back in the water, and the fish tried to swim away. Why would I do that? You know, there's a reason behind that. So when the fish went back in the water, he flared his gills and tried to swim away. When he flared his gills, two of those trebles came out from under there, and only one treble was still in him. And it was not in the gills, it was actually in the plate. So I gently, and you have to do this gently, because if they are gill hooked, you can literally rip their gills. gently bring that fish back. Use your hands on the line if it's not going to hurt your hands. If it is going to hurt your hands, you don't want to get cut by line. Use your best judgment here. If you feel comfortable and you've dragged your line in by hand before, you know it's not going to hurt you, do it that way. If you're sketchy about it, just really gently bring him back in, and you may find that the trebles have shifted position from being under the gill plate to only having one treble. Because when they flare their gills, they push water out and they change that gill plate position, and sometimes that treble will come out. So that's what happened, and I was able to gently pull that hook out and put the fish back. Any other way I had done that, I would have killed that fish, because those treble hooks were basically sitting on his gills. That fish is alive and no worse for the wear. He didn't bleed at all. You just have to be very, very gentle when you do this. And you may save a fish's life doing this. If you're like me and you love these fish and you don't really want to hurt them, or you're not looking to eat them and you want to put them back, this is a really good trick to get those trebles out. So I thought I would pass this tip on. I've seen a lot of videos for just single hooks and how to get those out. Sometimes, you can't do anything. When they're gullet hooked by a single hook, sometimes it's best just to cut the line. They'll pass it through. Bass have a very simple digestive system, so a lot of times that'll pass through. But those treble hooks, you can't leave a fish with treble hooks hanging out of them. It's going to die. I mean, they can't swim around with a jerkbait. So try to do the best you can. If they can't be saved, then they can't be saved. But this is a good option. And like I said, the key point in doing this successfully is when you put them back in the water, don't jerk your line back in, because those hooks are just going to dig in more. Let the fish gently swim away, and then gently reel him back in. I mean gently. Don't let him, he'll probably be tired by that point anyway, just from the whole ordeal. So he's not going to jump out of the water. But if you're gentle, you have a shot at getting those hooks out. That was the worst gill hook I have ever seen. And he swam away fine after being revived. He was a little worn out, but I do make it a point to try to get the fish back in as fast as I can. So putting him back in the water to get that hook out also gave him some extra time to revive, get some oxygen back in him, and be in the water. So I hope that tip helps you. I am going to be shooting a redo of the Outsider Tackle Box video. I'm really disappointed that my camera had issues. I don't know if it's because of the heat, but my battery wasn't holding a charge, and my second battery was very low. So a little poor planning, a little bad luck on my part, but I will be doing the next Outsider unboxing and fish very soon, and you're getting a sneak preview of one of the baits. This is a jerk bait, and I really like it. So we'll be talking about this and some other baits coming up soon. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you guys out.